Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're down here at the edge of a pine thicket and we've done a lot of timber stand improvement. We've got a real thick pine thicket here and it's a hard edge into a good white oak flat. Good ridge here, about 300 yards is our property line. After that is a big cattle farm. A lot of times what these deer do is they bed up in this thick pine thicket where we've thinned some pines over the years. They filter out here and they head into the cattle pasture, eat these acorns. So I tell you what, I'm excited this year. You've heard me talk about it. I'll talk about it 1,000 times. We come in here with a chainsaw, did a little TSI work. I'm cleared out a good little opening here to have a real good kill plot. I'm gonna just do the basic wheats, oats, maybe a little clover. But that's not really what today's video is about. Today's video is about the frugal working man being able to supplement his deer herd year round. I am a state employee. I don't get paid by anybody. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I just love to kill big deer. I can't afford the big fancy expensive supplemental feed, but what I could do is I did a little research and I figured something out, guys. My family comes from a farming background between cattle. I've got goats, and if you'll go to your local feed store, you can find feed that is really similar in nutrient quality to the big, what I like to call buck on bag. You've heard that phrase, I'm sure. Sometimes the prices on those buck on bag feeds are insane. We're talking $20 for 15 pounds of feed. No, I can't afford that. It's ridiculous. So what I do is I go through every feed mill. I don't know about where you live, but where I live in the country. Every town has a feed mill. Every feed mill has its own type of feed. This right here is called 1/3 mix. And I'm telling you what, it is some dang good feed. And guess how much it cost me, guys? A whopping $8 a bag. The only reason why it's last year it was $6 a bag. It's $8 a bag this year because the price of corn has went up. You don't have to have the big name brand fancy deer feed to supplement your deer herd. Right here, like I said, we're at the edge of the pine thicket. I fill this feeder up like once a week. So $8 a week, $48 a month. Forgive me if my math is wrong. Like I said, not an educated guy, state employee, but I mean, come on guys, it don't take much. So we're gonna go right here. We're just gonna fill this feeder up. We're gonna put a camera out today too. It's a cell camera. I doubt we get service. Like I said, I live in the middle of nowhere. I live on my farm, middle of nowhere, no service, but we're gonna try anyway. So this feeder right here, I'm not sponsored by this company. To be honest with you, I don't know where you can buy this feeder at. I come across it, but I will say it is a tank. I've got a lot of bear here, and broadcast feeder or any kind of feeder that's flimsy, the bears will absolutely destroy. And like I said, I don't make a ton of money, so every dollar counts. I want to get the most of my money. I've actually seen pictures of bears sitting on top of this thing. So that's what I use this feeder. I use some Boss Buck feeders too. They're good feeders too. But we're just gonna fill this feeder up, and then once I get done filling this feeder up, I'll show you the nutritional content of this this feed. And it's not like, it's a very common nutritional content in all feeds. I promise you, if you go to your local feed mill, then they're gonna have a feed similar to this. So in case you didn't know, pro tip, if you're opening a bag of feed from the feed store, just pull the string. That tip's brought to you by That Do It Right. Anyway, moving on. So we're just gonna fill this feeder up. like I said, I tore a hole in it. That kind of stinks. Oh well. Close it up. So let's look into the nutritional quality of this feed. So I'm kind of a science nerd. I get made fun of it a lot. But I kind of dove headfirst into the whole nutritional aspect of things as far as whitetail deer, and I also dove into it with my goats. And believe it or not, goats and deer, they're kind of one and the same. Actually, fun fact, they can actually interbreed. So that's how similar they are. So this is 1/3 mix. It says it's for beef cattle, but we're feeding it to deer. Crude protein, 16%. Crude fat, 4%. Crude fiber, 12%. Now, I know everyone's always worried about getting the max protein. Someone might say, well, I tell you what, 16%, that don't sound like much. Listen, guys, there's been many studies done. Simon likes it too. That's a A+ rating from him. A deer can only take in X amount of protein, and depending on the year, it changes, but for the vast majority of the year, anywhere from 12 to 16% protein is the most that they can take in at a time. So when you see these feed companies advertising 30% protein, whatever, it's just all fake news. It's just all marketing schemes, man. There's a sucker born every day, and I fell for it too until I did some research. 16%, you're gonna get just the same reaction from 16% protein as you will 20% protein. Another thing is, I don't really look too much into the fat because, like I said, we're not trying to get real fat deer, but it needs to be a balanced ration. One thing I do look into is the fiber. Deer are ruminants, which means they have 4 stomachs. Means they chew the cud, which means they need fiber. Deer have to have fiber to live. So if you're feeding straight corn, not too much fiber in that. There's not too much protein in that. What there is a lot of junk. It's like eating candy. It's like eating straight sugar. You wouldn't feed that to anything, so don't feed it to your deer. Don't feed straight corn to your deer. So basically, look what I'm saying, there's no buck on this bag. It's just feed mill brand. Don't get caught up in the whole having to have the name brand, the hot item on the market. Just go to your feed store and ask some questions. Just ask some questions. Say, hey, I'm looking for a feed that's around 15% protein that's got a decent amount of fiber in it. And those guys, they may not look like it, but I promise you, the old man behind the counter at the local feed store is a professional. They know what they're doing. Now, like I said, another fun fact of the day is I get caught up a lot in supplemental feeding. And I know a lot of people do. But it's only a drop in the bucket compared to what deer will actually consume, guys. I've been supplemental feeding nearly year round for like 5 years now. And did I go from seeing 110-inch 4-year-old deer to 170-inch 4-year-old deer? Absolutely not. You're not going to do that. But what you can do is you can give your deer a boost when they need it and help them pull through. And they're going to add inches. But another thing is like I said, don't quote me on the numbers, but I believe it was up to only 10%, I think. A deer would only eat 10% of its daily diet in the wild in supplemental feed. Give you an idea what this looks like. That's what it looks like right there. A deer will only eat 10% of his diet in this stuff right here, even though this has everything you need in it. But I'll tell you what they'll eat up to 80 to 90% of their diet in natural forage. Deer are browsers, they'll browse. And a lot of things that we don't like, deer love. Like, I'm just gonna pick right here. You can see this this plant right here. You can see it here. Can you focus in on that? It's called, it's great. We call it greenbrier. The fancy name for it is smilax. Deer absolutely love it. They'll devour it. There's all throughout this timber stand improvement area. There's a little bit of ragweed. I know we all hate ragweed, but it's 20% crude protein. I know, like I said, deer will only take in 15%, but it's free protein. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna I'll seal this back up. If you live in an area where you don't have bears, this is completely unnecessary. We have a healthy population of black bears around here, and I promise you, if I didn't put this wire through this eye, they'd be in it, and it would just be a waste of my time and a waste of my money. I'll just wire it shut. We're gonna come over here. We got our camera, and we're gonna put it up here in a minute. But I just wanted to let y'all know that y'all don't have to spend a fortune. You don't have to spend a fortune on supplemental feed to make a difference. All it takes, I pay $8 for a bag of this, and if I buy it in bulk, I think I can buy. I think it was like 250. No, I don't know. If I buy it in bulk, I get a discount. I know that. Y'all might have seen our dog Simon. That's our livestock guardian dog. You see, he's kind of got some shaved up spots on him. I promise you, he don't have the mange. He had some hot spots, and we took him to the vet, and the vet shaved them off and treated them. But he's coming around really good. And this little guy right here, in our future videos on the goat farm, he pulls his weight around here, guys. I couldn't imagine life without old Simon here. He loves to ride on the Ranger with us and just loves to be part of our lives. Until the next time, like, subscribe to our channel, and we're gonna get out here and let these deer have this area.